What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, the two new upcoming packages, the next infrastructure package and the next stimulus package, as well as all other different stimulus checks and stimulus packages coming out on the state level, city level, and county level, as well as money that is becoming available from the third stimulus check package for programs you probably don't even know about: mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance, broadband internet assistance. Yeah, there's a lot of different buckets of stimulus money that become available from these past stimulus packages, as well as about 20 different things they're negotiating on in the next stimulus package known as the American Families Plan, which the Democrats are demanding be passed together right now with the physical infrastructure package and the next, what they call the human infrastructure package, or the social infrastructure package, or the next stimulus package named the American Families Plan. I'm going to give you the latest update on that here today in this video. But first, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. New videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you can, smash the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. Okay, yesterday, California approved more stimulus checks for the state of California. And I want to explain why this is going to be important for all 50 states going forward, as well as for the next stimulus package on the federal level as well. As you can see here, both chambers of California legislature approved the governor's plan to send an additional $600 stimulus check to the residents across the state late Monday night, sending the legislation to the governor's desk. The Golden State Stimulus Round 2 expands on the first round of payments that went out in April and are actually still going out right now. The first round, individuals with under $30,000 or less of income received payments, including people on SSI. In the second round, taxpayers who make up to $75,000 a year and did not receive payments in the first round will receive the $600, as well as families with dependents would also receive an additional $500 in direct payments for a total of $1,100. Again, people who make up to $75,000 a year and did not receive payments in the first round will receive a $600 stimulus check from California. Families with dependents will receive an additional $500 for a total of $1,100 if you have dependents or children. Another $500 will also be made in direct payments to undocumented families. So number one, this is about 25 million people. It's a lot of people. It's nothing to sneeze at. But I do recognize, and I totally understand, that that's one state out of 49, or out of 50, 49 other states that are not getting this particular check. But there's a lot of other programs going on right now for all the other states, as well as states have really just received their share of the third stimulus package money. $350 billion is going out to states, cities, and counties. Cities and counties actually get to spend their money separately than the states do. Okay, so I remember last year we had a lot of counties and cities doing their own stimulus checks and stimulus programs like rent assistance, mortgage assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance, and there is a lot of those going on now. But I would really say that the majority of these states have not announced their programs yet, or have not decided what to do with their money yet. Some states have decided what to do with some of their money, but the majority of states are actually only getting half of their money right now, and then they get their the second half of their money later after they prove to the federal government how they spent their money. They can only spend it in certain allotted ways. Okay, so and then they get the second half. They have to spend a certain amount of the money on you guys through programs like this $600 stimulus check. So if, first of all, this is good news, even if you're not from California, because number one, it shows all the other states like, hey, California just did 2 rounds of $600 stimulus checks, or even $1,100 if they have dependents. First of all, if other states are doing it, our state probably needs to do this too, because they're helping out their citizens. We're going to look bad if we don't. So I expect a lot more states to be doing this in the future. And again, a lot of these states are really just trying to figure out what to do with their money now. So I expect this to happen in the future. I'll keep you up to date on a week by week basis of new programs coming up. Secondly, I see a lot of people saying our state will never do this, like New York or Texas, two of the next largest states. Well, they do have programs going on right now. I just did a recent video on this where I go over all the kind of programs I know about, but let me just show you an example of $2 billion programs that both Texas and New York just passed. Number one, Governor Andrew Cuomo from New York has announced $3.5 billion with a B in rent assistance and small businesses. This was just announced last month. It went live on June 1st. It's still available right now. You can just Google this program when you're done here and just Google Cuomo $3.5 billion and look into applying for this, because again, you'll have to do it through the state website. This is for the whole state of New York. $2.7 billion in rent assistance program to provide funding for eligible households experiencing financial hardships. Online applications accepted starting June 1st. And another $800 million for small businesses through the Small Business Recovery Grants Program. Again, $3.5 billion in New York. I see that people saying New York will never do this. And almost all these states have programs going on like this right now. I also want to mention one of our viewers who sends me content occasionally to show to you guys for Texas, Unforgiven774, wants you to see these. Last month, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced $2.5 billion with a B in pandemic food benefits for Texas families through the Pandemic EBT program, which provides up to $1,200 per child for the school year, as well as additional money for SNAP. As well as the Texas Food Bank Network, you can just Google this after you're done watching this if you're from Texas, is helping out with supplemental SNAP assistance and can help you get approved for it, and possibly has more assistance as well through the Texas Food Bank. So what is this? $2.5 billion for the state of Texas, as well as $3.5 billion for the state of New York. Both of these programs were just announced in May. So yeah, if you're saying like New York will never do this, Texas will never do this, first of all, their governors are already doing this. These type of programs are happening in all 50 states. And really, we're just at the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be a lot more coming here in the near future as these states kind of decide. A lot of these programs are just a portion of the money. A lot of these states are actually doing money out of their own pockets, their own state budgets, and not necessarily from the federal money. The federal money coming is like a bonus to that. So I will keep you updated on all the states going forward as soon as I see programs. I'm also doing weekly updates on all the state programs that I kind of know about, all in one program. So I will link you to my most recent video I did about that, because chances are there's programs going on right now for your state and you just don't know about them. So you definitely need to watch that and apply for these programs, because a lot of these programs like rent assistance can actually pay a year, 12 months of your rent, which could be $12,000 or more. Okay, next up on the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, and the next infrastructure package, which is part 1 and part 2, here is President Biden himself talking about these. Listen in.
A bipartisan group of senators got together and they forged an agreement to move forward on the key priorities of my American Jobs Plan, and one of them sitting in front of me. As a result, this is a generational investment to modernize our infrastructure, creating millions of good-paying jobs. And that's not coming from me, that's coming from Wall Street. Millions of good-paying jobs, and positions America to compete with the rest of the world in the 21st century, because China is way outworking us in terms of infrastructure. It's going to make the world of difference for families here in Wisconsin. Here's what it's going to do. This deal will put American workers to work in good-paying jobs, not minimum wage jobs, not $15 an hour jobs, prevailing wage jobs, good-paying jobs, repairing our roads and our bridges. You all know why that matters. 1 in 5 miles of highway and roads in America are in poor condition. 1 in 5 miles. Some states it's worse. where the weather is tougher. 50 years, 50% of our bridges are over 50 years old. More than 1,000 bridges here in Wisconsin are rated as structurally deficient by engineers. 1,000, just in Wisconsin. And that doesn't make Wisconsin better or worse. It's all across the nation. It's this way. There are bridges, the 10 most traveled bridges in America need repair, and some need to be completely rebuilt. More than 600 here in the state of Wisconsin. Bridges have weight limits to prevent trucks from crossing. That means long detours for farmers heading to market. It's more than just an inconvenience, it's about safety as well. In November 2019, a school bus in Arcadia, Wisconsin, tipped over going around a curve and went into a ditch with 20 students on board. It wasn't because of snow or ice. It was just an old country road with rough conditions. Thank God nobody was seriously injured at the time. But this is a drain on our economy as well. Typical American, and it varies slightly from state to state, but the typical American pays a hidden tax of more than $1,000 a year in wasted time and fuel due to traffic congestion. Now, in the more rural the areas, the less the congestion, but it creates other difficulties. You all know that feeling, losing time, sitting in traffic, or being rerouted because the bridge isn't wide enough or the road is poorly maintained. This deal is going to put Americans back to fixing all of that.
So yeah, President Biden there touting how important this is. This will create millions of jobs and upgrade our infrastructure. It's a lot more than roads and bridges. It's clean drinking water. It's senior health care. I mean, there's all sorts of different things in this physical infrastructure package. But the Democrats are actually saying that they're forcing, get what Nancy Pelosi is saying here. Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the Democrats in the House and the leader of the House of Representatives, she's the Speaker of the House, is telling Mitch McConnell that she's not backing down from her position. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat from California, on Tuesday amplified her plans to link a bipartisan infrastructure agreement to the second package of the Democratic priorities. The second package is the next stimulus package known as the American Families Plan, rebuffing an appeal from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to decouple the bills. In a closed-door meeting with her caucus in the Capitol, Nancy Pelosi said her initial strategy to withhold a House infrastructure vote until the Senate passes the larger partisan Families Plan, the American Families Plan, the next stimulus package, remains unchanged according to lawmakers in attendance. What she's saying here is that the Senate can pass the physical infrastructure package, this bipartisan agreement, but she's not even going to let it go to a vote in the House of Representatives. It's just like taking a page out of Mitch McConnell's playbook from the Senate when he was leader of the Senate just last year, that they can decide to not let a bill go to vote. We've seen this most notably with Mitch McConnell's $1,400 stimulus check that at the time, President Trump, who was president, wanted that $1,400 before Biden came in as president. And Nancy Pelosi said, okay, and they passed it in the House with Republican support. And then Mitch McConnell wouldn't even let it go to a vote. We probably would have got 3 stimulus checks before Biden even became president. But Mitch McConnell wouldn't even let it go to a vote. He could have voted no on it himself, but there was enough Republicans to pass that. We would have got $1,400 before Biden even came into office. Then we probably would have already got the 4th stimulus check because we know that President Biden is not going to send out any stimulus checks. So we probably already would have had 4 and been working on stimulus check number 5. Well, Nancy Pelosi's kind of saying the same thing here. She's saying that she's not going to let the physical infrastructure package be voted on until the Senate passes both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the next stimulus package bill, tying their fates together, whether President Biden likes this or not. Nancy Pelosi is saying that she's not even going to let it go to a vote in the House until the Senate passes both. Now, she does say she knows that the Senate is going to pass the next stimulus package through the reconciliation process, which is the process that means only Democrats are going to pass it. They're going to pass it with the reconciliation process, which means you only need 50 to 51 votes in the Senate, because everybody knows, and I've been saying this for a while before kind of everybody even knew this, that no Republicans are probably going to vote yes on this package. We didn't see a single Republican vote yes on the third stimulus check package. So if we didn't see a single Republican vote yes on the third stimulus check package, why would we see any of them vote yes on the fourth stimulus check package? So it's interesting that we have the Democrats in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, because it wasn't the case last year. Last year, when I was talking about the second stimulus check and even the third one, we were talking about, okay, Mitch McConnell has to approve it, and President Trump at the time, President Trump needs to approve it. By the way, I get some comments saying, why do you call him President Trump? And then I get some people saying, why do you call him former President Donald Trump? It sounds ridiculous. I know you can't please everybody, right? But just to be clear, all presidents, past and present, retain the title of president forever. So when you think of President Obama, he retains that title of president forever. So does President Trump. I understand a lot of Democrats don't like it. A lot of times I say former President uh, Donald Trump. Sometimes I say President Donald Trump. Either way is technically correct. I'm not siding here, but I always get some people that are mad at me because I called him President Trump. But he technically retains the title for life. So, Democratic Representative John Yarmouth from Kentucky says what Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said, and I totally agree with her, is that we're not going to vote on one until the Senate sends us both. That has not changed. So they're not changing their mind on this. The remarks come several days after President Biden has shaken the infrastructure debate by first vowing to veto the bipartisan bill if it was not accompanied by the Democrats' larger social benefit package, which is the next stimulus package. And note that it's going to be larger than the infrastructure package. That's pretty good. And then he backed off the threat after an outcry from moderate Republican senators and Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell says the president cannot let congressional Democrats hold a bipartisan bill hostage over a separate and partisan process, aka the next stimulus package, which is going to be passed just by one party, the Democratic Party. So basically, Nancy Pelosi is backing up what other progressive Democrats are saying from the House, that they're going to hold their ground, whether President Biden says that he would veto it or not, which kind of shifts the blame to Nancy Pelosi. But a lot of people are applauding her for this. It kind of depends on what side of the aisle you're on, right? That she's going to hold her ground and say that she's not at least at this point, unless she changes her mind, that she's holding her ground. She's not going to let the physical infrastructure bill get voted on in the House. They can pass it in the Senate, but she's just going to hold it and not let it get voted on in the House until they also pass the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, in the Senate as well, even though everybody knows they're going to pass it through reconciliation. She says that's fine. Democrats can pass that only, but she's just making sure that moderate Democrats like Joe Manchin are going to make sure that they vote yes on it, which we had a recent video here. I'll link you to the end of that, what Senator Joe Manchin said, which was actually very favorable of the next stimulus package. I'll link you to that video here as well. But yeah, so basically Nancy Pelosi's holding her ground here. She says, no, we're not going to pass this physical infrastructure package unless we pass both of them, the physical infrastructure package and the next stimulus package, and also known as the human infrastructure package or the social infrastructure package. It has many names, right? That they're going to have to be passed together, so that she's ensuring that this next stimulus package is passed together. Of course, we know there's so many things in this next package that could ultimately make it in there. Even Senator Joe Manchin said that he's in favor of it. He just doesn't know what's in there because nobody knows what's in there right now. It's really going to be negotiated on. There could be a fourth stimulus check in there. We have so many Democrats pushing for a fourth stimulus check that I don't see how they're not going to include a fourth stimulus check in there. At the bare minimum, at least a single stimulus check. There's also a lot of Democrats pushing for monthly stimulus checks. And in addition to that, an extension of the monthly stimulus checks going out to children called the child tax credits of $250 to $300 per month. That's only passed for 1 year. They want to extend that. as well as possibly increase Social Security, Medicare expansion to include hearing, dental, vision, and hearing aids included in Medicare, possible $25,000 home buyer credit, free college, 2 years of free preschool. There's a lot that even free childcare. There's so many different things that they're negotiating on in this next package. I don't think everything is going to make it in this next package. They're already talking about another package after that. And in 3 months from now, they get a whole nother set of reconciliation cards. So there will be more packages after this. But I will keep you up to date on what will end up being in this package, as well as states, cities, and counties that are passing more stimulus checks as well, that I will link you to a video here in a moment. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so, and click the bell icon to all notifications. Remember, the new videos come out every day on our channel here at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also share this video down below with your friends and families who might need to know about these additional stimulus checks, stimulus programs, state programs coming out here in the near future. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video. This bottom video is about states, cities, and counties passing their own stimulus checks and stimulus programs. And this video is what Senator Joe Manchin just said about the next stimulus package, which was very good news. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.